before we get started, it's important to know that we always recommend that your bicycle be professionally assembled. Or if you choose to follow this video and do home assembly, we recommend that a professional bicycle mechanic safety check your bicycle before riding. Now let's get started.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and today we're going to talk about fixing a flat tire on a Priority Ace. First thing you want to do is flip your bike over and being careful not to damage the paint, saddle, or handlebars. With your 15mm wrench, we're going to loosen these bolts. Keep in mind we already loosened them before filming, so you're going to have to put in a little effort, but you want them to be just like this. Next, go over to your rear brake and flip the lever up. This will open the brake caliper. Give the wheel a push towards the handlebars to release the tension on the belt. Then, slowly guide the belt off your front and rear sprocket. Now with everything loose, you can pull off the rear wheel. With the wheel off, this is a great time to inspect the tire. Look for anything that could have caused a flat, like a piece of rock or a piece of glass. After checking the tire, we are ready to remove it from the wheel. We're going to use a tire lever to scoop out the tire off the rim. Push the tire back and push the lever underneath the tire. And with your hand, you're going to push away, making your way around the rim. And this will cause the bead to unseat. The Ace has a Presta valve. When you reach the valve, make sure that you unscrew the ring that holds the valve in place. Now, pull the tire away, exposing the tube. Pulling out the valve, then remove the tube and the tire. You can now check your rim tape. It is possible for this to shift, causing metal parts of the wheel to puncture your inner tube. To put the new inner tube on, the first thing you're going to have to do is add a little bit of air to give it some shape. This will make it easier to properly put it into the tire. Open this cap on the valve. Using the narrow opening on your floor pump, add air to the tube until it takes shape. Next, we take our new inner tube and we place it in the tire. Then we take our tire and the inner tube and we guide the valve into the valve hole on the wheel. With your hand, guide one side of the tire onto the rim. Once it becomes hard to do by hand, you can then use your tire lever. With half of the tire on the rim, we're going to push the other side in with our lever. Starting from a part of the tire that's already pushed in, now slide your lever in and go around the rest of the rim. The last section should be pretty tight and hard to push in. This is normal, and it's letting you know that you're doing it right. With both sides of the tire on, you may notice it's not perfectly seated on the rim. This is okay because it's going to fix itself when you add air into the tire. Now, fill your tire to the recommended PSI. So every tire has a proper PSI written on the side of the tire. On the Ace, the manufacturer recommends 60 to 100 PSI. Here at Priority, we fill our Ace with 85 PSI. Now that your tire is back on the wheel, let's reinstall it onto the bike. You will notice on the bicycle there's a washer here and another one on the other side. You want to push these to the outermost part of the axle. Now slide the wheel back into the frame, and it's time to reattach the belt. Start with the rear sprocket and guide the belt forward onto the front sprocket by spinning it slowly until it sets in place. Make sure the belt is on both the front and rear sprocket. Tighten the axle just tight enough so the wheel stays in place. With the belt now on, it's time to make sure that our tension is right. Using the 4mm Allen key, tighten the belt until it feels tense, and make sure you tighten both sides evenly. Then use your Gates app to check the tension. Strum your belt and look for anywhere between 35 to 50 Hertz on your Gates app. As we go to tighten our axle, let's make sure that the wheel is straight in the frame and it's not touching any part. Once we know everything's okay, use our 15mm wrench and tighten your axles. They should be tightened to the point that the wrench is leaving an indent in your hand. With the wheel back on, close your brake calipers and make sure your wheel is spinning freely. Now that we've finished all of our steps on fixing our flat, let's just check our bike real quick. Pick it up by the saddle and spin the wheel towards you. You see how my wheel just spins freely and it's not being impeded by the brakes? That's how we know that we've done a good job. But if you're having more trouble or you feel like your brakes are a little too tight, please feel free to call us or send us a message. Our information is below.